Hello, folks, and welcome to Tom and Ben News Wikipedia News Edition. Before this episode starts, we'd like to apologize that Season 2 hiatus that caused because of this computer virus destruction afterwards. Well, we couldn't resume this episode until just now.
Anyways, on second episode of Season 2 is Walmart.
Walmart Incorporated, formerly Walmart Stores Incorporated, is an American multinational retail corporation that operates a chain of hypermarkets, also called supercenters, discount department stores, and grocery stores. From the United States, headquartered in Bentonville, Arkansas.
The company was founded by Sam Walton in nearby Rogers, Arkansas in 1962 and incorporated under Delaware General Corporation Law on October 31, 1969.
It also owns and operates Sam's Club retail warehouses. As of January 31, 2022, Walmart has 10,593 stores and clubs in 24 countries, operating under 48 different names.
The company operates under the name Walmart in the United States and Canada as Walmart New Mexico y Central America in Mexico and Central America and has Flipkart Wholesale in India.
It has wholly owned operations in Chile, Canada, and South Africa.
Since August 2018, Walmart holds only a minority stake in Walmart Brazil, which was renamed Grupo Big in August 2019, with 20% of the company shares. And private equity firm Advent International holding 80% ownership of the company.
Walmart is the world's largest company by revenue, with $548.743 billion, according to the Fortune Global 500 list in 2020.
It is also the largest private employer in the world, with 2.2 million employees.
It is a publicly traded family-owned business, as the company is controlled by the Walton family.
Sam Walton's heirs own over 50% of Walmart, through both their holding company Walton Enterprises and their individual holdings.
Walmart was the largest United States grocery retailer in 2019, and 65% of Walmart's $510.329 billion sales came from U.S. operations. Walmart was listed on the New York Stock Exchange in 1972.
By 1988, it was the most profitable retailer in the U.S., and it had become the largest in terms of revenue by October 1989.
The company was originally geographically limited to the South and Lower Midwest, but it had stores from coast to coast by the early 1990s.
Sam's Club opened in New Jersey in November 1989, and the first California outlet opened in Lancaster in July 1990.
A Walmart in York, Pennsylvania opened in October 1990, the first main store in the Northeast. Walmart's investments outside the U.S. have seen mixed results.
Its operations and subsidiaries in Canada, the United Kingdom, Central America, South America, and China are successful, but its ventures failed in Germany, Japan, and South Korea.
In 1945, businessman and former J.C. Penney employee Sam Walton bought a branch of the Ben Franklin stores from the Butler brothers.
His primary focus was selling products at low prices to get higher volume sales at a lower profit margin, portraying it as a crusade for the consumer.
He experienced setbacks because the lease price and rent purchase were unusually high, but he was able to find lower cost suppliers than those used by other stores and was consequently able to undercut his competitors on pricing.
Sales increased 45% in his first year of ownership to $105,000 in revenue, which increased to $140,000 the next year and $175,000 the year after that.
Within the fifth year, the store was generating $250,000 in revenue.
The lease that expired for the location in Walton was unable to reach an agreement for renewal, so he opened up a new store at 105 N Main Street in Bentonville, naming it Walton's Five and Dime.
That store is now the Walmart Museum. On July 2, 1962, Walton opened the first Walmart Discount City store at 719 W Walnut Street in Rogers, Arkansas.
Its design was inspired by Ann and Hope, which Walton visited in 1961, as did Mart founder Harry D. Cunningham.
The name came from FedMart, a chain of discount department stores founded by Saul Price in 1954, who Walton was also inspired by.
Walton stated that he liked the idea of calling his discount chain Walmart because he really liked Saul's FedMart name.
The building is now occupied by a hardware store and an antiques mall, while the company's store number 1 has since expanded to a supercenter several blocks west at 2110 W Walnut Street.
Within its first 5 years, the company expanded to 18 stores in Arkansas and reached $9 million in sales.
In 1968, it opened its first stores outside Arkansas in Sikeston, Missouri and Claremore, Oklahoma. The company was incorporated as Walmart, incorporated on October 31, 1969, and changed its name to Walmart Stores, incorporated in 1970.
Whoa!
The same year, the company opened a home office and first distribution center in Bentonville, Arkansas.
It had 38 stores operated, with 1,500 employees and sales of $44.2 million.
It began trading stock as a publicly held company on October 1, 1970, and was soon listed on the New York Stock Exchange.
The first stock split occurred in May 1971 at a price of $47 per share.
By this time, Walmart was operating in 5 states: Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana, Missouri, and Oklahoma. It entered Tennessee in 1973 and Kentucky and Mississippi in 1974.
As the company moved into Texas in 1975, there were 125 stores with 7,500 employees and total sales of $340.3 million. to grow rapidly, and by the company's 25th anniversary in 1987, there were 1,198 stores, with sales of $15.9 billion and 200,000 associates. This year also marked the completion of the company's satellite network, a $24 million investment linking all stores, with two-way voice and data transmissions and one-way video communications, with a dental office.
At the time, the company was the largest private satellite network, allowing the corporate office to track inventory and sales and to instantly communicate to stores.
By 1984, Sam Walton had begun to source between 6% and 40% of his company's products from China.
In 1988, Walton stepped down as CEO and was replaced by David Glass.
Walton remained as chairman of the board.
During this year, the first Walmart Supercenter opened in Washington, Missouri.
With a contribution of its superstores, the company surpassed Toys R Us in toy sales in 1998. While it was the third largest retailer in the United States, Walmart was more profitable than rivals Kmart and Sears by the late 1980s.
By 1990, it became the largest U.S. retailer by revenue.
Prior to the summer of 1990, Walmart had no presence on the West Coast or in the Northeast, except for a single Sam's Club in New Jersey, which opened in November 1989. But in July and October that year, it opened its first stores in California and Pennsylvania, respectively.
By the mid-1990s, it was the most powerful retailer in the U.S. and expanded into Mexico in 1991 and Canada in 1994.
Walmart stores opened throughout the rest of the U.S., with Vermont being the last state to get a store in 1995. The company also opened stores outside North America, entering South America in 1995 with stores in Argentina and Brazil and Europe in July 1999, buying Asda in the United Kingdom for $10 billion. In 1997, Walmart was added to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. In 1998, Walmart introduced the neighborhood market concept with 3 stores in Arkansas.
By 2005, estimates indicate that the company controlled about 20% of the retail grocery and consumables business.
In 2000, Harold Lee Scott became Walmart's president and CEO as the company's sales increased to $165 billion.
In 2002, it was listed for the first time as America's largest corporation on the Fortune 500 list, with revenues of $219.8 billion and profits of $6.7 billion.
It has remained there every year except 2006, 2009, and 2012. In 2005, Walmart reported US $312.4 billion in sales, more than 6,200 facilities around the world including 3,800 stores in the United States and 2,800 elsewhere, employing more than 1.6 million associates.
Its U.S. presence grew so rapidly that only small pockets of the country remained more than 60 miles, 97 kilometers, from the nearest store.
As Walmart expanded rapidly into the world's largest corporation, many critics worried about its effect on local communities, particularly small towns with many mom-and-pop stores.
Whoa!
There have been several studies on the economic impact of Walmart on small towns and local businesses, jobs, and taxpayers.
In one, Kenneth Stone, a professor of economics at Iowa State University, found that some small towns can lose almost half of their retail trade within 10 years of a Walmart store opening.
However, in another study, he compared the changes to what small town shops have faced in the past, including the development of the railroads, the advent of the Sears Roebuck catalog, and the arrival of shopping malls, and concluded that shop owners who adapt to changes in the retail market can thrive after Walmart arrives.
A later study, in collaboration with Mississippi State University, showed that there are both positive and negative impacts on existing stores in the area where the new supercenter locates. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina in September 2005, Walmart used its logistics network to organize a rapid response to the disaster, donating $20 million, 1,500 truckloads of merchandise, food for 100,000 meals, and the promise of a job for every one of its displaced workers.
Whoa!
An independent study by Stephen Warwitz of St. Lawrence University found that Walmart, the Home Depot, and Lowe's made use of their local knowledge about supply chains, infrastructure, decision makers, and other resources to provide emergency supplies and reopen stores well before the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, began its response.
While the company was overall lauded for its quick response amidst criticism of FEMA, several critics were quick to point out that there still remained issues with the company's labor relations. We will continue about Walmart in part 2, so stay tuned, folks.